Hey out there. How are y'all doing today? You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia, and we are providing you another segment of A Word with the World. And we are once again in our virtual studio with a special guest. So let me introduce the world to her. She's a person that wears many hats. I'm a little bit jealous myself. I'm just trying to catch up. But she is the CEO of Independent Authors Publications. She's also a nonprofit leader, an award-winning author, and the author of the Freddie series. Please welcome Miss Renaee Smith. How are we doing today?
Thank you, Zeus. I need to walk with you, have you come with me so you can do my intro. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm very
Well,
excited about it.
I just wanted the viewers to get that feel and that emphasis, just to know that, like I said, you're somebody with wear many hats. You're definitely not just involved with your art form as an author, getting
Yes.
yourself established in that way, but also to bring enlightenment to what you're doing for the community and how you're creating these different platforms for people to kind of showcase their artistry as well. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and give you a clap. You
Thank
deserve
you.
it.
Thank you. I appreciate
Um,
that.
I just like the fact that it's not, when it comes to you, it's not just about you. You know, you're trying to get people involved
Yes.
and bring the, like I said, the attention to other people and what they're doing as well. I just think that's very commendable on your part.
Thank you. Thank you. And it
So
definitely isn't about
again,
me. Yes.
so again, it's not about me, guys. It's about Miss Smith. So let's get straight to it. And let's start with something very simple. How about you just speak to the viewers a little bit about yourself and what over the years has allowed you to continue to aspire, or what has inspired you to fulfilling your goals?
Well, for me, and I have let me get this out of the way. I'm originally from Montego Bay, Jamaica, and I moved here to the US. So I think that was a huge part of just me moving in the direction of where I am. My parents
Mhm.
instilled that drive in me. My mother's a teacher, my dad was an accountant, and they've always instilled that, we're always helping people, we're always looking out for each other. And I think that just carried with me to where I am now, where I feel like, yes, I'm a leader, but I'm a servant leader. I'm here to serve people and make sure that they get what they need, in whatever capacity that I have, that I can help someone else. Because again, it really isn't about me. It's about, all of us pulling together and making sure that, we are here to support each other in whatever way we can. Who much is given to, much is expected from you. So, and I've received a lot, so it is my turn to give to others, and I continue to give. I'm continue to receive, so I continue to give.
That's a beautiful sentiment. I'm kind of like in the same line of thinking as you. There's definitely more happiness in giving than receiving.
Yes,
So definitely you want to get yourself out there and get yourself established, but it's so much a better feeling to know that because of what you're doing, that you create opportunities for other people. You know, you
absolutely.
always should have it in the back of your brain to kind of pass it forward. Whatever blessings come to you,
Yes,
it's not going to kill you to go ahead and pass it on to someone else.
not at all. You'll feel so much better. I guarantee it.
So let's go ahead and brag about you a little bit more, shall we? And to the viewers, and one of your accomplishments is becoming a award-winning author. Like I mentioned before, you are known for your Freddie book series, where it tells the adventures of the main character as he encounters various scenarios in different situations. The book speaks to how vital it is to possess values, as you cover themes of determination, making dreams into realities, how to make a difference in an environment, and
Mhm.
striving towards performing good deeds for others, and the importance of learning financial literacy,
Yeah.
which I think that gets overlooked tremendously.
Yeah.
So could you explain to the viewers how you discovered and developed this concept?
So, and I'll just half a step. So, I have three boys. I'm married. I have three sons, And as they were growing up, it was very important for me because, the older age boys don't read, that whole shebang. But for me, I wanted an opportunity for my boys to see themselves in books. And so that was my inspirations to start writing the Freddie series. So Freddie, actually, honestly, the first book I wrote in the Freddie series, Freddie, The Great Compost Heap, really came to me in a dream. I kid you not. And I started
Mhm.
writing. I got up and I wrote the note down. It literally, there's a little scratch paper on the side of my bed because I always have paper. And I scratched out the idea in my sleep. I'm trying to write it down because if you don't write it down, you're gonna miss, you're gonna lose the idea. So I
How
wrote the
about that?
I had the idea for the book and I wrote it and I incorporated different aspects of my life. So at the time, the mayor of my town, the book is named, the mayor in my book is named after the mayor. So I'm just taking little latitudes and just kind of changing vowels and letters and things like that. But I wanted to ensure that the books featured young boys in a way that they were and black boys because they're not the main characters, they're seen in a different light, and I wanted them to see themselves as the hero of the story. You are the main character, you're doing great things, you can do great things. In that way they can see themselves. And there's, when you read the story, like any story, you start off and you work through some challenges and then you are triumphant. And we want to make sure that they understand that you can be triumphant. There will be struggles and there will be hardships, but there's a way to get through it. And this is what these books are about, with these themes, teaching young boys and young children in general to understand how life works. Loving the environment, teaching them about financial literacy, because that's so important. You get to college, you finish college if you go, or even if you do finish high school, and then all of a sudden you're supposed to know how money works. Like, didn't you know that you get a credit card and you swipe and next thing you know,
Mhm.
$50,000 of debt. We want to teach them young. We want our kids to understand how money works, how things work. And that's really the crux of the whole idea, the concepts behind the books. It's not just about and I have three things that I always want to do: entertain, inform, and inspire. So within my books, that's what I try to do: educate you on a topic, inform you, tell you what it's about, and then inspire you to make a difference within yourself and your community and the world at large.
That's a beautiful message that you're trying to get out. I just love the fact that you're able to include your family. I always feel like the best medium when it comes to writing is to speak from experience.
Yes.
So just the fact that you kept it family oriented with your books, and the books are so easy to get an understanding of and apply it to their lives. Families can read it together,
Yes.
and it's a beautiful thing too of the specific messages that you have in there. We were just mentioning, or you were just mentioning about the financial literacy. I talk about with the kids all the time that I feel like that's something in the school system
Yes.
that they should concentrate a lot more, and they tend to fail on that. They might give a little bit of an outlining of it, but I feel
Mhm.
like going into the real world, that's something that would prepare them a lot more
Yes.
better if they put more attention toward that.
Yes.
Um, but just the fact that your books have these messages that people can easily relate to and apply it to their life, I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
So, what message specifically through your books that you wanted to convey to your readers?
Um, it's it's more than just you. We are an ecosystem of a lot of different individuals, and we have to work together to make things better for ourselves and each other. And that's what the books teach about. When you look at the books, it centers around Freddie. He's a main character, but he has all these different individuals that come around, that he interacts with and he engages with. And in doing so, he brings about a change within, yes, himself, but also in the community. So if you look at the Great Compost Heap, he starts at home, but then he involves the whole community, and then everybody. That's why it's called the Great Compost Heap, because it started at his home, and then it branched out, and then the whole community got involved, and then it became the Great Compost Heap, and then helping others. So again, Freddie is working at home, but then he goes next door to help his neighbor. In the book that deals with financial literacy, again, he's like, hey, I need to some money because I need to buy my bicycle. But then what happens is he starts helping other people in the community because he's doing all these different chores and things because there's an old lady down the street who can't cut her grass. So it's an opportunity, yes, for him to make money, but he's also providing a service in the community. Within everything, it's really community and being able to help others, just thinking outside of the box and not just helping yourself, but helping others.
Beautiful. And going back to like how the central theme is centered around family, what are your thoughts on how essential it is to create a strong foundation within the family structure?
Is so important, especially now. I think just in general, from the beginning of time, you have a mother, your father, and the children. Some of that has swayed a little bit because some people want to do it on their own, or for whatever reason, you're not able to. But it's really good for children to have that structure, family structure, whether it's traditional or non-traditional, but having parents and people that you can depend on. It is so vital because um, like I said, I have three boys, and I'm always making sure that I am here for them. Because growing up, there are so many things that you don't know, and you need someone to just bounce it off of. So I'm here. If you have a question, I may not have the answer, but I'm here to listen, and I may be able to get the answer for you. So being in that space where you can provide a safe space for your child or children to be able to, because the world is going to beat you up. Whether you are a
Yeah.
child or an adult, the world is going to beat you up real bad. And it's always good to have someone in your corner where they can make sure that things are, it's, it can keep you, you can feel like you're in a little cocoon, that safe space, that love, that warm blanket feeling that you get because you have your family around. And family doesn't necessarily have to be your blood relatives, but family can be that group of people that surround you and provide you with love, you know?
I think that's a very valid point as well. When you use the terminology family, you think it's somebody, as of like a mother, father, aunt, uncle, brothers and
Hmm.
sisters. But the fact that your community, the people that is within your circle can be your family as well, um,
Yes,
and give you the support that you need. I mean, a lot of times
absolutely.
we all probably feel like we could take it on our shoulders and handle things and just go ahead and do it our way and just find the resolve within ourselves, the fortitude to get things done. But how much more better it is to have that support, take some of the tension and pressure off yourself.
Yeah.
I know I love working in a team environment just to
Hmm.
get the different perspectives and the different ideas that people have, just the way
Yeah,
they do go about doing things.
yeah,
I just think it just makes you a better individual
absolutely.
because it
And
it enhances your perspective on things.
yes, and they have an African proverb. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a group. And that's how, you get, because, we can do it. We can do it. And we can, man, I'm going to bang this out and you do it. But, it's so much easier. It's not easier, but it's so much, you have so much support. When you have that support, you really can go much further. You don't have to do it all. You have someone you're pulling this side, pulling that side. It just makes for a better progression for you as an individual.
Very well said. So let's continue on with our bragging of you because again, you just got so much going on. You also written two cookbooks as
Yes,
well. Very impressive. Jamaica's Forgotten Treats, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Memba when?
yes, yes. You got
Okay.
it.
All right. So for this, we're going to go outside the box just a little bit, kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Okay.
What are you, in your opinion, are the similarities between cooking and writing? Is there a correlation between the two, especially when it comes to developing a particular skill set?
Um, I would say 100% yes. Writing and cooking or baking, you have to start with a plan. And your plan is your recipe, Your plan for your writing is your outline. Just to become better at your craft. If you're a baker or a writer, practice, 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 practice. So, you get a recipe and you're like, okay, I've never made this before. And you make it. And then you say, you know what? I like it, but I want to do something else. So you start to tweak it and then you start to make it your own. Same thing with writing. You get your outline and you put it down on paper. And then you're like, I want to change something up. And you start to tweak, and that's the edit. And you edit it down until you're like, this is it. And that's when you come up with that final big product that you say, this is mine. I can't add anything else to it. It's perfect. Same thing with your script, So I see the similarities with both with baking and cooking and with writing.
And I think there's a good point too, what you're saying about practice. I think people undermine that enough or
Mhm.
a little bit too much. They feel like they're trying to hit the home run, knock it out the box, put some things together, boom, you're supposed to automatically make a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work that way. You
No.
wish it would,
it,
but
it
you're definitely
doesn't.
gonna have to try. Yeah, you're gonna have to try again before
Yes,
you get to the I guess to the level that you want. But you
absolutely.
also
And
shouldn't be satisfied as well.
yeah,
You always should be in the position where you want to learn more. You would
yes,
agree?
yes. And I through my nonprofit organization, we have a writers group. And, I tell when I in the group, I tell the writers, your first draft is just that, your first draft. It is not the masterpiece, it's not the bestseller. It's just literally taking a dump of the ideas in your head and putting it on paper. You're going to beat it up a couple more times before you get to your masterpiece. Before you get to the point where you say, yeah, this is it. I can't edit this anymore. This is perfect. I'm perfect. It's ready to go type of thing. Yeah.
So definitely, even if you have to rewrite for you viewers out there that are trying to become potential writers yourselves, or you're looking to go into that medium, please don't be afraid to fail because you're
Yeah.
definitely going to have to go through it quite a few times before you find your niche. But don't look
Yeah.
at it as a total failure. Just look at it as another lesson learned, just
Yes.
another way of not doing something, but just looking at it as a way where you can just better your craft and just kind of build that resolve, that fortitude, like we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So, Miss Smith, we continue down the lane of accomplishments on your resume. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the set, you are the CEO of Independent Authors Books Experience, which for your viewers out there, it's a nonprofit organization that helps independent authors maximize their potential and assists in endorsing their brand as an author. One of these ways is through the annual Independent Authors Book Expo, IABX for short, and it was established in 2014. You are also, as I mentioned before, you're the CEO of Independent Authors Publication, which is a publishing company. So, could you elaborate more for the viewers your role in these companies and
Okay.
how you assist individuals in bringing their art form to life?
Yeah. So, in 2024, I published my first book, Jamaica's Forgotten Treats, in 2011. And, as a self-published author, going around, I mean, that book, I've gone to Jamaica, I've gone to Canada, kind of gone different places with that book, all across the US. But what I realized very quickly is that there wasn't a space for independent authors like myself. And for the spaces that they had, they were just so costly. My first interaction with getting my book out there literally cost me about $700-800. But I was so happy. I was like, yeah, I'm getting my book out there. Woo. And then I was like, first thing, it was my book on a shelf in a space, and my name is Smith, so it's done alphabetically. It was literally on the bottom shelf in the corner to the side, and the books were off to the corner. These were like the first, books that were published by first-time authors. So after the initial woohoo, I'm there. I was like, wait a second, I just spent all this money to have my book on a shelf. I want to be in the space. I want people to come up and talk to me. I want to be able to tell them about, why I wrote the book and that kind of thing. I had the idea. I said, you know what? I want to create a space for authors so that they can share their work. They can actually sit here and talk to you about their book and sell the book at the same time. It's not just, yes, I want to talk about it. I didn't only just write
Mhm.
the book so I could talk about it. I want to make some money off of it. But create that space for them. That was, inexpensive, and they can really just get the word out there. Because as an independent author, you really don't, you just have yourself to depend on. Really, you don't have like a huge marketing team who is going out there and pushing your book, and a lot of the times this is not your main job. This is your part-time, this is a hobby. You start with a hobby type, and then you move on to, you're like, wait, I can make a little money off of this, and then you kind of put a little bit more effort into it, but you don't have that extra dollars to spend on marketing team and promotional team and all of this stuff. As things get better, you start to do that. So I created a space where authors could come in and get the same energy without that it costing them that big ticket that it usually does. So we just built a whole organization around that. We have the book expo. We started with the expo, and then we created the writers cafe. Then we had the authors speaks, which you are part of. Then we created the website. So the website has a plethora of things on it. You can do monthly spotlights. You can get book reviews. You can if you're new to the game, you can have reach out to us. We can help you create your website. So there are a lot of things that we created. And last year we started a children's book festival. So I was a part of Children Save the Children organization last year. They did a promotion, and I was a part of it. And I said, "Oh my gosh, this is great! We need to do this. Get books into children's hands for the summer." It's just So I created a children's book festival so that children will have books in their hands for the summer, because summer is like a little desert. I don't know if you realize, but for kids coming out of schools, one, if you're in low income areas, you miss out on lunch and breakfast and lunch, and also you miss out on the tangibles, the books, that kind of thing, especially if you're not able to go to your library. So I wanted to be able to provide them that service. Everything that is done supporting the authors, and I guess my end goal is literacy, because it's to promote literacy for all ages. So the authors writing the books for the people and the community so that they can become more literate, promoting literacy. Promoting the author, promoting literacy. I think they go kind of hand in hand for me. So that's really the whole starting one thing just led to the journey and me wearing all these different hats, as you said before. Yeah. So yeah.
So that's beautiful. I'm a testament of it. I definitely enjoyed my experience at the expo, and just creating that platform as well where author speaks, where it allows individuals, authors, just to come in and just talk about their books. Especially when it comes to the realm of literature, it's not too many platforms out there that allows different authors to kind of showcase their books and their artistry and just kind of promote themselves and market themselves. Definitely congrats to you that you were able
Thank
to
you.
accomplish this and put this together, and so many people have benefited from this.
Thank you.
So I know putting together a successful business and putting your manuscripts together for your books is not the easiest thing. So what obstacles, if any, did you have to overcome in order for you to become an author and an entrepreneur?
I think there and there's always roadblocks and bumps in the road. I think, when I first started out, finding that illustrator, I write in the outside of me writing my cookbooks, I'm a children's book author. So finding that illustrator that's going to capture the essence of what I want. And I did find that in that illustrator. I think that's the main thing. And then, you know, um, meeting your, making sure that my story is the message. Like I said, I want to entertain, inform, and inspire. And I think that's the biggest part for me as far as writing my story, is making sure that I'm hitting those 3 points. Because if I don't, I, the book won't get published. I will beat it up and edit and edit and edit.
Mhm.
I've had books. My book, Freddie Goes to the Beach, and I wrote that maybe in 3 years, and I just had it there sitting, and I just kept going back to it and rewriting it, and I kept saying to myself, Renaee, what's your message? What's your message? It's just not for entertainment. What is your message? And I just kept going back to it. And I think it was 2021, I think, or 23, yeah, maybe 21 or 20. And I said to myself, you need to finish this book before December 31st, and you need to get the message right so you can you can get the book out of your head. And I just sat there, and for 3 years I had the book kind of bouncing around, trying to figure out the theme. And I think that was for me, that was the hard part about writing, making sure that I get the message, and across to the child when they read it, and also inspire them, entertain, inform, and inspire them to make a difference. So when you read it, even if you're an adult and you read the book, you should get something from it. Like The Great Compost Heap, when I first wrote that first children's book, I got a call from someone in New York, a friend of mine. She said, Renaee, I bought the book, but I'm using it. So she's like, I live in an apartment. Can I create? And just hearing her, and she's like, she created a compost in the apartment, and I walked her through it. So even though the book is written for a child, or it's a children's book, an adult can still use the contents of the book to help themselves. And that's really, I think one of the hardest things for me is to get past that. Because if the book doesn't do that, it's not getting published. I don't rush my work. I really, I'm thoughtful about what it is that I'm putting out there, because when I'm done, I'm done. I want you to get it, and you read it, and you should be, okay, I get it, type of thing.
I could definitely relate to what you're saying because my last book that I put out, Mixtures, I actually wrote it 5 times.
Mm,
So each version that I put out, I just felt like I could have pushed myself a little bit further,
yeah.
tightened some things a little bit. Some of the short stories in there, I'm kind of reading it over. I'm like, I don't think the reader's really going to get the gist of what's going on here. If I
Hmm.
can't get it, I'm sure enough the reader, out there is not going to get it as well.
Right.
So it just goes back to what we were just talking about, just not being so flustered and frustrated.
Yeah.
Because that could be an obstacle in itself of
Yeah.
holding you
Absolutely.
back. It's just
Yes.
yourself. A lot of times we could be a victim of circumstance, but a
Hmm.
lot of times our worst enemy is ourselves,
Yes.
where we kind of get in our heads and kind of get overwhelmed with all these emotions and not realize, like, hey, that's the beauty of life. You have the
Yes.
opportunity to redeem yourself and do it over and over and keep coming up with a game plan until something works for
Right.
you.
Absolutely.
So to continue on the many hats that you have, you also help run a non-profit organization in the role of director of development, where the organization provides living arrangements for the homeless.
Yes.
So what does it mean to you to be able to help your community in such a capacity?
It is very fulfilling. There's such a great need for uh, just in right now, especially in housing. There's so many people who are experiencing this. They're being unhoused. They're not able to take care of their families, and it's not that. What we're seeing now is there are so many working homeless people. Now, the two don't make sense, but they're working homeless families right now. 75% of the community that we serve are working homeless. Mother's working, father's working, and they're still not able to provide a stable living environment because the housing is so expensive. And that should not be. So, in addition to us providing rental assistance or transitional housing or emergency assistance, where we'll put a family up or individual in a hotel, we're trying to change the system from the legislative point of view. Making sure that we talk to our senators or community partners or mayors or council people and say, hey, we need to do something about this situation. We cannot continue like this. And we're also reaching out to investors, people who are building units. Any town you're going now, right across New Jersey, they're building an apartment unit. This complex is going up right, left, and center. And what we're saying to them is, we understand what you're doing, but can you provide, a percentage of the units there for affordable housing? Because I think sometimes when people think about housing, they think it's, with cheap housing. No, affordable housing. And we're not talking about, when you think about somebody who's homeless, you're like, it's a bum on the street, he's doing drugs, he's doing all these things. I guarantee you that's not a lot of 90, I want to say 75% of the individuals, they're working. You have people who are coming out of college, out of universities. They're not able to afford to get an apartment. They're still at home. You have families who are, they've been working and now they have to go move back in with their families, their mother and father, if they have a house, because they're not able to afford their apartment because they don't make enough to be on their own. So when you think about now, a one bedroom is almost $2,000. A two bedroom ranges from 2,000 up. Okay, I only make 52,000 a year, if that much. Can I really afford an apartment? It's difficult. So our role in that organization is to really help families stay stably housed. We provide them with resources. One of the things that we've initiated is a 50 units of housing in 5 years. So we are now also building units of housing for the homeless community so that they're affordable housing. In an environment where the units of housing that are going up are out of control. Your $2,500 for a two-bedroom is just, it's not cutting it. You just can't afford it. And what they're saying now is, if your apartment is $2,000, your income has to be 3 times that amount. So if you think about it, you need to make $72,000 each year to be able to get into that unit, that housing. How many people are making 72,000 a year? Not a lot.
Wow.
Not a whole lot. So, we're here to not only help your immediate need to get you housed, but we're helping long term. We're fighting the system, and trying to get legislation, the legislature, and that changed while we're working to help you immediately.
Beautiful. I mean, very commendable. I think more people need to be in line with that kind of thinking
Yeah.
of finding a way to strengthen the resolve in the community. Without the community, what do you have?
Nothing.
So the fact that you're providing this and you're helping through this organization to get people back on their feet,
Yeah.
is tremendous. Is there any way, you know, any information that you could provide if anyone, like one of our viewers, would like to be a part of this?
Well, if you want to support it, we're the Elizabeth Coalition to House the Homeless. We're located in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We serve all of Union County. So even though we're located in Elizabeth, we serve all of Union County. So if you have a housing need, and you need support, you can reach out to us. But also, if you want to just donate to the cause, go to our website. You can donate right on our website. Again, it's theelizabethcoalition.org. Any support that we get is appreciated. If you want to come and volunteer, if you want to donate, we have a children's program. If you want to volunteer there or support, you can do a collection, socks, cleaning supplies. You know what I mean? You just call us. We're here. We need any support that we can get because it goes right back into the community.
Awesome. And just to let your viewers know, we'll have that website down below, the link down below for when the video is
Thank
posted.
you.
So definitely check it out. Anything possible in any way, we definitely encourage you viewers, if you can, whether it's time, resources, materials, what have you,
Yes.
even if it's just small,
Yes.
something is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
So we definitely appreciate you sharing that, Miss Smith.
Thank you.
So to keep coincide with the theme with helping the homeless, I also know that you also wrote a book entitled Turn the Lights Out.
Yes.
So was this an inspiration, how you're dealing with the nonprofit? Was this an inspiration for you to write that book?
Yes, 100%. when you just thinking it is dedicated to, and the proceeds from the book go to, a part proceeds go to the coalition. So for every book that I sell, I make a donation to the coalition, for the sales from that book. But it was definitely something that I wanted to dedicate because a lot of the times, again, people don't realize a homeless person is not just someone living on the street. If you are living with another family, we have families, two and three families who are living in two and three bedrooms. So each family is in a room. They're homeless. That is not the ideal situation. Even though your house, you're still homeless, because at any point, if someone decides, "Hey, I don't want you in my house," you now have to move. So getting the concept of homelessness and some of the things that affect people who are experiencing homelessness. Your lights go out, your water, they cut your water off. Your phone gets cut. You can't pay your car note. They come and repossess your car. All these different things that, you know, it literally causes a snowball effect to you. You get sick or you get hurt. You can't work. What happens? You can't pay your rent. Then you're homeless. You're outside. We had a situation where uh, she's a nurse. She's working in a hospital. She's a nurse, and she became homeless. Her landlord said he's going to renovate because her rent was inexpensive. She had to move. He renovated the space, but then he jacked up the rent three times. So she wasn't able to afford that anymore. So she moved to a hotel. She was in the hotel, and then she couldn't afford that anymore either. And then she moved to her car, and then the car died. Mind you, she has a young child under 10. So her and her child are living in her car. That was in February. It wasn't warm then. So just imagine these situations. About 2 weeks ago, we had an 8-year-old man living in his car, 80 years old. These are the kinds of people that we're seeing, senior citizens, we're seeing young people, we're seeing homeless families. It's critical. When I wrote the book, I wanted to bring light to the situation to young children, because you have a lot of young people, or children who are going to school and they're homeless. Their parents get them dressed. One parent, she was getting her kids ready in the Wawa, and they were washing up and getting themselves ready. But parents are doing what they need to do to get their kids educated. But then that child comes to school, the clothes may not be pressed, or the newest gear. And we want children to understand that you have to be kind to that person, because you don't know what they're going through. And you don't know when that the hands of time change, and your family may be in that situation. Knock on wood, we're not calling that onto anyone, but we want them to understand and understand that be kind to each other, because you don't know what someone else is going through.
Good point. Just what you're doing here is just such an inspiration. I kind of want to just talk out to the viewers that in a small way, you can help the people that's nearest to you or within your community as well. Don't always wait to be called upon. Sometimes you just see somebody in a struggle. A lot of times, because of ego, they're not going to ask for help. They're just
Yeah.
going to feel like they're just going to try to do it on their own. I mean, extend your hand out and try to help out.
Right.
Is even if you can't be involved in something like this, how you're doing with the nonprofit, just doing the simplest things can mean the world to someone, and it can
Yeah.
put them back on the right track to
Yeah.
bringing more clarity to their life and putting
Yeah.
them in a position where they can thrive.
Yes.
So we definitely want to encourage you viewers as well. Look upon what Miss Smith is doing, and even if you can't be a part of a nonprofit, we definitely encourage you in some way, shape, or form. Help the person next to you,
Yes.
because that little bit of help, or just maybe all they need is just a shoulder to cry on,
Yes.
or they just need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of enlightenment on some things, can make a difference to someone. Just food for thought, basically, for your
Yes.
viewers out there.
Yes. And thank you, Zeus, for giving me that platform, those few minutes to just share. I really appreciate that.
No problems. So many of your endeavors coincide with your passions and ambitions. So What I admire about you is that you found the fortitude within yourself to work toward accomplishing your goals. And from what we're hearing, you're triumphing. You're definitely an inspiration. Hopefully, the viewers will find inspiration within themselves to kind of pursue their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, to know that nothing is too big of an obstacle that you can't overcome to go ahead and accomplishing your goals. What advice would you give to the viewers who are watching that are trying to bring purpose to their journey of life?
Um, you know, have a few things, a few sayings that I, in my head. Sometimes I recite them. The first one is, what are you waiting for? You know,
One.
there's no there's no optimal time. Sometimes there's, but there's no optimal time. We're waiting for to get more money, get to get the degree, get the car. We're waiting on all these things. What are you waiting for? Just go for it. Sometimes you just need to take that leap of faith and just go for it. It's very important that you. I'm one of those persons. I think and I think fast. So I come up with an
Mm,
idea and I kind of bounce it in my head a couple of times, and I may share it with someone and say, "What do you think?" And I talk to trusted people, people who I know who are going to, who are for me. They know what I'm, they kind of know the way I think, because not everybody's for you. Some
mm,
people, you have a boat and you think you're all swimming together, but somebody's there poking holes in your boat. I'm just saying, you have to know who you're talking to. But I come up with an idea and I kind of bounce it around in my head, and then I talk to someone and I say, "What do you think?" And then I just run with it. It's kind of like, not again, what am I waiting for? What is this mythical time that I'm waiting for to come, this magic time? So I go for it. And then um you know I have the other one. I try to make sure that it's just, there's a lot of just do it, just go for go for it. I really just go for stuff. I'm also, I want to say, I'm a praying person. I'm a firm believer in God, and when something comes to me, yes, I run, but I when I'm bouncing and I'm talking to him, like, Lord, is this what you want me to do? And then, sometimes, and I want to say this, sometimes things don't go as well as you want them to, and we get this. You throw your hands up in the air, but that's not the time to quit. You kind of double down a little bit more. Maybe you need to put some more thought into it, plan a little bit more, reach out to some other people. There are a lot of times that we get down. uh, we talk about the book expo, and I've been doing that now for 11, this is the 11th year. And I kid you not, Zeus, there didn't, after some events, I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm like,
mm,
okay, all right. Okay, so we need to change this. We need to do this. Let's do this. Let's add this. Let's tweak this. And it's a matter of looking at it big picture, and again, like you said, not being afraid to fail, but putting yourself out there, because a lot of the times we are fearful of failing, and because of that, it keeps us immobile. It keeps us in one position. And when you get past that fear, so much doors open up for you. When I'm working on a project, the IABX, the event and the organization, we have the same logo, acronym. And we have a board, and when I start to talk to them, I'm always throwing ideas at them. And we're like, okay, how are we going to get the money? This is my thing, is the money will come. The money will come. It will. We
mm.
just go forth with the plan, so and I think when you operate in a place of love and honesty, when you're honest with yourself about what it is that you're trying to do, good things come to you. So when I think about what I'm doing, so we started in 2020 during the pandemic, when the children were experiencing so much learning loss. It really broke my heart. And I used to be a part of the board of education, and when I left the board, I said, "Oh my gosh, there has to be something else that I can do." And we created a literacy intervention and enrichment program for children in the 5th and 6th grades. Didn't know where I was going to get money to pay the coaches, because that wasn't the problem. I needed to get the help to the children. The children needed support. How am I going to do this? So I, again, gathering a team of people, and like I said, my mom is a teacher, and I reached out to her. I said, she's a fifth grade teacher. I said, I need a curriculum. She's like, I said, what do I need to do? I'm not a teacher. I'm like, what do I need to do? She's like, this is a curriculum, put your curriculum. I'm literally reaching out to people from all over, helping me to put this together. Fast forward 2024, we're 3 years into the program. We just wrapped up our last session. And it's free to the community. Again, what we do, a lot of our programs are free to the community. We want to make sure that there are no barriers for individuals to get the services that we're providing. I don't want to have to charge you for you to get your child up to speed so that they can be a better citizen in the community, that they can be a better person. These are the kinds of things. If you have an idea, talk to someone about it, and a trusted advisor, someone who will give you good advice as far as, yeah, I think it's good, but what about this? Help you to create a better vision for what it is that you want to do, and then go forth, because I guarantee you God is going to put those people in your lives that are going to make it happen for you. And I've seen that countless of times, whether it's financial, whether it's resources, people just show up, and I'm like, thank you, God. So I'm for me, I would say to anyone who has an idea, think about it, pray about it, get a trusted advisor, and write it on paper, write it out, and just go forth.
Awesome. Great advice. I hope the viewers took all that in. I think the one thing that I like the most with what you're saying is just about being honest with yourself. Sometimes that could be the hardest thing for some people,
Yeah,
but it should be the easiest because nobody knows you better than yourself. But
right.
also, too, if you're not honest with yourself, then you're not going to be no good to no one else because people are not going to get a real clear cut of what you were mentioning before, your vision and what your
Mhm.
goals and what you're trying to accomplish. Nobody's a mind reader. If they were, I think this world would probably be in a worse place than what it is now.
Probably.
So the fact that people, you got to help them as far as getting their understanding of what you're trying to do, and especially
Yes.
if you want to get them involved in things as well. You got to put yourself out there. Got
Yeah.
to get over your fear of just kind of staying in this bubble, hoping and praying that things are just going to come to you on a silver platter because
Mm.
life just doesn't work that way.
No.
So I love the fact that I kind of liken this to myself, but I'm gonna liken it to you too. You kind of have like the octopus arms. You got your arms all over the place on different things, not
Yes.
just for yourself, but to help other people as well and put them in a position where they can thrive.
Yes.
It's definitely commendable, and I wish nothing but blessings for you
I appreciate it. Thank
in
you,
the
Zeus.
future. I know you're going to be going on to bigger and better things. So it's
Thank you.
also, before I forget, your social media, where can people link up with you?
So my main place, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I know I'm still on Facebook, but on
I am
Facebook,
too.
so it's author Renaee Smith, and that's author Renaee Smith, and that's both on Instagram and Facebook. All my platforms are the same, and my website is reneesmith.com. And it's Renaee because that's a little different from most the spellings of Renaee, but that's
Mhm.
the spelling of my name, reneesmith.com.
And if any of the viewers want to get some more information on IABX, where can they turn to?
You can go to IABX.org. Kept it simple. It's a long name, but
Okay.
the website is IABX.org. So there's a lot of information there. If you want to participate in any of our events, you can register right on our website.
And could you just give a quick outline for the viewers, some services that you provide through IABX?
Oh, sure. So we have our main events. We have our book expo, and that's one of our bigger events. This year it's on October 19th. We're partnering with Kean University, and we're hosting that on the campus October 19th. You'll see more information coming out. If you're an author and you'd like to participate, registration is going on right now. The second event that we have is the Children's Book Festival. and that's on June 8th. That's coming up, but not less than 3 weeks away. We still have a few more spots left. So if you're an author and you want to participate, you're a children's book author or a young adult author, we invite you to participate. You can register right on our website. Now, as far as events, we have our Writers Cafe. If you are a budding writer and you just want some help, or if you're new to and you say, I want to publish a book, you can join our Writers Cafe. It's on Zoom, so it's virtual. And we do that once a week, so every Monday on Zoom. And then we have our authors speak, and right now we're virtual. I'm thinking that we may go back in person because it's just so much fun to be in person and just see the person live. And one thing that we really enjoy is the fact that you can do your sign-ins and people can purchase copies of your book. So that's something big that I like to promote. Not just promote you and talk about you, but people can actually buy your book right there. So that's we have the author speaks. And then in terms of on our website, we do book spotlights, author spotlights. We have book reviews. If you need help getting your a website up, we can help have a website designed for you. And these are one of the things. These are nominal fees because we're a nonprofit. We don't make a lot of money. It's not a money making organization. We provide a lot of services. We do charge a nominal fee, but when you look at what's in terms of pricing out there, you realize that this really isn't that bad. This is, we really try to make sure that it's economical for the authors because, like I said, when I started out, I just realized that, oh my gosh, they're charging us so much money. And it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm paying 500 over here and I'm paying 25 over here and I'm getting the same service. So and we make sure that we reach out and we spread the word about the authors. If I know you and you're an author and you say, "Hey, Renaee, I'm doing something and I'm available," I will show up. you know I want to make sure that we're here for the author. It's and just that's just my personality. I show up for people. I want to be there to support you in whatever way I can. If I can't do it physically, I'll try to do it financially, or I'll get you resources. They call me the dot connector. I connect people to things. If I don't have it, I'll find someone who can get it for you. I just think it's just more than me, and we're all together, and if we work together, there is enough to go around. They try to tell us that there's a scarcity and there's just not enough, but there's more than enough to go around. We can all eat and have steak and lobster and shrimp if you like that stuff. There's enough
Mhm.
to go around. It is not a
Mhm.
scarcity here. There's enough. I just want to say, Zeus, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your program. I really appreciate that, and it's this is good to be here and being on the other side of the on the mic.
Yeah,
So
because you're usually the one that's on it,
yes,
introducing everybody. So it's good to see you in another limelight. But I definitely, it was definitely a privilege and an honor to have you
thank
on
you,
here. Definitely, what you got going on is very admirable, and hopefully the viewers can like bask in the ambience and just totally soak in everything that you said. You
thank
did
you,
provide a lot of insight and wisdom, and again, much blessings to you. And
thank you. Likewise, likewise,
yeah, I
likewise.
appreciate that.
Yes. So
Just authors helping authors, entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs.
yes,
It's always a beautiful thing. So
yeah.
we definitely want to thank you guys for tuning in on another episode of A Word with the World. We had the great and illustrious Miss Renaee Smith, author, entrepreneur. Definitely, again, can't thank you enough for taking time out. I know you're busy. I appreciate you sit down with me.
Thank
And
you.
you guys know who it is. Zeus Cruz, Olympian Multimedia. And we're going to check you later.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Take care.